Winners, butt kickers, champions in life. Vincent Rose here, the Fat Killer with H2G Fitness, coming to you from Galveston Beach. And today, for a lot of people, is Thursday. But for those people who have figured out how to chase their dreams, make those dreams come true, today is Saturday number 4. And I say that to say this: I'm excited about sharing a message with you guys to help y'all be able to do the same thing and truly spend every day of your life doing the thing that you love to do and living the rest of your days free. What do I mean by free, right? Well, there's a system that's in place that tells us that we're supposed to go to school, we're supposed to get good grades, we're supposed to go to college, get more good grades, specialize in something and get a degree, find a company, go through the interviewing process, which is basically begging somebody for work, right? You gotta dress up your nicest, you gotta be on your P's and Q's, you gotta have your resume all doctored up, you gotta, say all the right answers to all the questions, because you need this company to pay you money so that you can provide a living for you and your family. And then you do that for as long as you can. Hopefully you can stay with the company long term, and that's the system that's in place, and that's cool. That system works for a lot of people, but I'm here to tell you that system isn't the only system that's in place. We are blessed enough to happen to live in a country that if you want to create income versus go work for a company, you can. Money is just an idea. You can create income at will. You do not have to do the whole get good grades, get your resume doctored up, go through the interviewing process, go and then work for that company for as long as they'll allow you to, for however many hours a week they tell you to. And they set your schedule, they set your pay, they set your life. You don't have to do that. You're allowed to work for yourself. You're allowed to find out what you're passionate about and pursue it. You're allowed to create income pursuing the thing that you love, and you're allowed to be free. How do I know that? I'm 33 years old. I've been free for over 770 days, doing what I want, when I want, where I want, how I want, for as long as I want, wherever I want, for any reason that I want, and I don't have to ask permission for another man for nothing. I am free. I answer to one person and one person only, and it's not anybody that's a physical being. As far as man, I answer to nobody. As far as God, I answer to Him every single day. And I'm doing what I want to do with my life. Well, what's the purpose of this talk? It's to teach you how to do the same, because I'm not special. Rewind 3 years ago, I was working for the system, and I was plugged into it. I was following it. I was figuring out how I was going to make a living doing it. But I checked out from that system and I checked into a different system. And this one is much better because it's much more fulfilling. How do you donate your job back to the economy and give it to somebody who needs it because you don't? How do you live the rest of your days doing what you love to do? And how do you reach a stage in life where you can be free? Let me tell you. It's 3 steps. It's really simple. Step number 1, you need to search your heart. And you need to figure out what you're passionate about. You need to figure out what you love. You need to figure out what you're interested in. You mean what I'm majoring in college? No. What do you love? You need to identify it. And then once you do, you need to spend so much time studying and becoming an expert on the thing that you love that you own it. Whatever you love, you know it backwards and forwards, left and right, up and down, inwards and out, from A to Z. You become an expert at the thing that you love. How do you do that? You study it. You read books on it. You get around people who are doing the thing that you love, and you learn from them. You get mentors. If there's conferences that you go to, or there's somebody that's talking about the thing that you love, you do that. You can get an education pretty much for free. Granted, it might cost you however much it costs you at Barnes & Noble to buy a book. but you can go to a library just the same, and for the price of a library card, you can get your education darn near for free. You're allowed to do that. So you need to search your heart, and you need to find out what it is that you love. And then after you've done that, you need to start studying it and become a student of the thing that you love and learn it. Learn every aspect of it. That's step one. I'm out here in the sun, so I'm about to sneeze. So if I sneeze, you can say God bless you. Step number two, you need to start sharing the thing that you love with others. Because if it's something that you love, you should share it. And if it's something that you love, there's probably other people that are walking God's green earth that love the same thing that you do. And they want to learn about it. They want to experience it. They want to touch it. They want to play with it. They want to work with it. They want to experience it, whatever. And you need to start sharing the thing that you love with people. Sharing is caring. And you start sharing the thing that you love with, and you start blessing others with it, with what you've learned. Sharing the desire of your heart that you've studied backwards and forwards, and you start sharing it with others. And then step number three, you need to receive love back. And this would be in the form of compensation. Because if you're going to commit your life sharing what you love, the way somebody expresses love back to you is if you are an expert in your field, they can, should, and will pay you for it. Whatever the price tag is. I found a love of fitness. I found a love of knowing that, wanna know what? My self-image sucked most of my life. I got hit with acne at 14 years old, and I didn't get rid of it till age 29. So for that, 6 + 9, 15 years of my life, my face had a lot of pimples on it. And not just like the small little acne things, but like, I'm talking about like ingrown stuff where there's like just big and nasty, and I don't mean to share all that with you, but that'll hurt your self-image. When you walk outside and you got a blemish on your face, you are not confident about anybody that you meet, because the only thing that you're thinking in your mind is, they're looking at my blemish. But on top of that, I was not in good physical conditioning most of my life. And because of that, I was very self-conscious. I didn't like summertime. I didn't like being at the pool and not wanting to get in the water, or not have a towel around me, or wanting to wear a shirt the entire time. I didn't like taking pictures and posting them on social media and wanting them to be from the neck up. I didn't like when people tagged me in a post, and I didn't like the way I looked in that picture, so I'd ask them to untag me from it. I didn't like whenever I walked into a crowd that I just wasn't confident with the way that I looked. And because of that, I wasn't confident. So I started studying the thing that I loved. And once it became a passion for me, at age 29, I made the decision, I'm going to get in the best shape of my life. Because there's others that have done it, so I know that it can be done. And I started studying 8 hours a day. I had a full-time job. I had a family. I had a business that I was building. And on top of those 3 things that are all real big time commitments, you have to invest a lot of time in your child. You got to invest a lot of time at your job. You got to invest a lot of time building a network marketing company, which I was doing at the time. And on top of all of those hours that I was putting in, for 6 to 8 hours a day, I started studying fitness. I got on YouTube. I found free information. I started finding YouTube personalities, and I would watch them for 6 to 8 hours a day, and they would teach me what you need to do to transform your body. And I would listen to what they were telling me, and then the next day I would apply what they told me to do in the kitchen. And then I would listen to what they're telling me, and the very next day I'd apply what they told me to do in the gym. And I kept applying what they were telling me to do in the kitchen and in the gym, and in 3.5 months, I dropped 43 pounds, and I got comp lean for the very first time in my life. And my self-image went through the roof. Why? I did have acne for 15 years. Turns out, once I started exercising and doing cardio, my acne cleared up like that, immediately. The second I started doing cardio, my skin cleared up. I tried every skincare product that you could possibly imagine. Name it. Name it. It doesn't matter. Neutrogena. I don't even remember the names of them anymore because it's been so long since I've had to use them. All the way to the point that I had to use Accutane, do that whole deal. But I started living a healthy lifestyle. I changed my diet. I started working out. I started doing cardio. Skin cleared up immediately. But also, all of these places on my body that I had self-image issues with, I started getting smaller. I started getting leaner. I started getting more confident whenever I was in crowds. I started performing better because of it, because I was acting from a state of, I have confidence. I started having more energy. And in 3.5 months, I dropped 43 pounds. And it was the very first time I had ever reached kind of, you know, for a guy, I guess, the pinnacle of success whenever it comes to fitness. I had a six-pack for the very first time in my life. I know that there's people walking this earth that they have fast enough metabolisms that they just have a six-pack, they've always had it, and they don't got to work for it. That's not the case for me. I gain body fat very easily. But I wanted to get in better shape. I wanted to have a better self-image. I wanted to be able to be self-confident, feel comfortable in my own skin, not have to sit down and when I look down, my stomach is 4 inches protruding over my belt line. It's really hard to have a healthy self-image when you don't like the way that you look. Kind of a deal. So for 6 to 8 hours a day, I started studying this stuff and I applied it and I got great results with it. I posted a silly little picture on Facebook, and the result of posting that silly little picture on Facebook was I had over 100 people message me in 24 hours asking me how to do what I did. They were asking me about the thing that I loved. I did step 1. I found out what I loved and I studied it. Now I had the opportunity to do step 2. I started sharing it with the people who were asking me questions. And I started sharing the thing that I loved with them. And I was doing it for hours and hours and hours a day. I wasn't going to do it for free. So I engaged in step number 3. I had people start sharing the love back. They compensated me for what I was teaching them. And the more that I shared what I loved with people who loved what I loved, the more love they shared back to me. What did this result in? Within 12 months, I was able to go full-time doing the thing that I love, sharing the thing that I love with people that I love, and they loved me back. And it allowed me to check out of that first system that I told you about. But Vincent, I don't love fitness. What do you love? Do you love art? Study art, practice art, teach art to other people, and people will pay you to learn about art. I'm an engineer. I like architecture. Study architecture. Go to the library. Get your education for free. You don't got to go into debt. And then start sharing what you've learned with others, and they'll start paying you for your time. I love cooking. Start studying and practicing cooking, and then teach others how to cook. And they'll share the love back with you to learn how to do what it is that they're doing. I love this. I love that. Love it. Study it, share it, and receive love back. And if you'll do that enough, because here's a tip, I've put in a lot of hours. 6 to 8 hours a day of studying is not easy. Vincent, you probably sacrifice some sleep. I run on about 4 hours of sleep a night, sometimes 3.5. While the rest of the world slept, I was studying the thing that I loved. While the rest of the world slept, I shared the thing that I loved. While the rest of the world slept, the love was shared back with me. While the rest of the world slept, I checked out of the system of go to school, get good grades, get a degree, go kiss a boss's butt, beg for his money, go to a job interview and be on your P's and Q's. You got your best clothes on, you got your resume proudly in front of you, and now they're gonna put you in front of the firing line with questions, and you're on your tip-top shape. You're answering every one of them with the most people skills that you have, trying to sell yourself, prostitute yourself for money. Did you just say that? Yeah, I just said that. Because that's what you're doing. You don't have to do that. Do you love what you do full-time? If you said yes, keep doing it. If you're a doctor,